which means that I belong to the retail team. And in particular, I am following some vendors on consumables. I've been hired kind of 1.5 years ago. So my experience with Amazon is much shorter than Moira wants. And I'm based in Milan, and I'm working mainly on Italy. But we have many functions that are split around Italy and Spain. And also the retail team is split across Italy and Spain. So it's not so seldom for us to manage on both countries. That's why me and Moira are working together with these two marketplaces.
And a fun fact is that Guglielmo was one of my first hires in Italy. So when we launched the graduate program last year, he was one of my first ones. So it's very special to be able to do this presentation with him. Cool. So again, welcome. So we'll move on to the agenda.
Yeah. If I managed to do that. I did.
Awesome. Cool. Okay, so we will start off by briefly talking about the unique culture that we have at Amazon. And then we will go into the different opportunities that we have for students in our different locations, and then go through the application and recruitment process. So I'll give you all the information that you need to know in order to succeed during the recruitment process. And then later on, we'll also have a Q&A session. So during the presentation, I think what would also be good is just if you start like asking questions in the chat box. I hope that we can get through all of them, or I don't know if you can unmute yourself later if you want to ask us any questions, you can do that as well. And then at the very end, we will finish up with some ways on how we can stay connected. And yeah.
Clear.
Cool. Superb. Okay, so just a brief overview of Amazon's mission. So our mission is to build the world's most customer-centric company in the world, right? So it always starts and ends with the customer. So we always take the customer first, and then we work backwards from there. So in our actions, in our goals, in our projects, we always ask ourselves, what does our customer want? And then we adapt our services and products accordingly. Cool. And then the story behind Amazon. So it all started on a napkin. So you can see the flywheel that the person is drawing over there. That's meant to be Jeff Bezos. So he drew this flywheel. So this cycle is our business strategy, basically. So the customer experience is always at the center of everything. If we improve our customer experience, it will generate more traffic on our website. If we have more traffic, it will attract more sellers. And if we have more sellers, it will attract more customers and so on. So it's really our business model of Amazon. Yes, and then moving on to Amazon's leadership principles. You may have heard about our LPs. You maybe heard of someone gone through this process before, or like if you just Google Amazon recruiting process, this is probably the first thing that you will see. So it's something that we basically live and breathe at Amazon. So we have 14 of them, and we go by them day by day. So like even now, being in Amazon for 4.5 years, like when I speak to my team, they will be like, "Oh, that was super bias for action from you, Moira," or like, "Oh, I loved your ownership on that." So on your day-to-day, you will still hear these leadership principles being cited every single day. And as well, like during our yearly performance assessment, we will be assessed according to these leadership principles as well. So yeah, it starts with the. Sorry,
you have something more to say. Yeah, I know.
So it really does start in the interview process. So we want to see if you fit with our culture. So and then again, like I said, when you join Amazon, it's going to apply to your daily on a daily basis. And then during the recruitment process, so it's really important for you to not learn them by heart, but have a good understanding for them. So we want to see if you're able to demonstrate them in previous professional experience or university experience. So I'm not going to go through them one by one, but basically for our internships and for our graduate programs, I'm just going to cite 3 that are very important that you should definitely look at when you're going to interview with Amazon. So one of them would be learn and be curious. So what we want to know is, are you curious enough? What projects did you take on that was just out of interest? What did you learn, or what did you do to become better at something? So we want to see that curiosity in you. Another one that's quite important for any role at Amazon is earns trust, right? So we want to see how you gain someone's trust, how you earn someone's trust. So how did you establish that relationship with someone? Why was that relationship important, and how did you manage to do it? So we want to hear that whole step by step how you were able to do it. And then finally, a last one that's super important as well is deliver results. So, you were given a task, and what actions did you take to actually be able to deliver that task? So what were the things that you considered? What did you consider, and what actions did you take to make sure that you delivered on time? So you can kind of understand what our leadership principles mean. And if you do interview with Amazon, just make sure that you really take a look at them, because I guarantee you they will come up. And if you haven't prepared in advance, it's really, really hard to think on the spot if you haven't put the work in.
Yeah. May I add something, Moira, as a guy that survived the Amazon Blue?
Yeah.
So, it's really important for you guys to be structured and prepare something in advance according to, not each and every, but the most critical leadership principles. So try to walk in the interview room with some examples ready. And one other thing that it's really, really crucial in Amazon are data. So try to have a metric that you can communicate to the interviewer about how your performance changed from X to Z. That's really, really important for us, since if we have something that we cannot measure, for us, it's really difficult to understand if it's relevant, if it really was a game changer or not. So try always to deliver something that it was relevant for you. Most of the times these jobs are for fresh graduates, so we don't expect you to lead a $1 billion company and something like that. But as long as you can prove a result in terms of numbers, and you can demonstrate, that's what we're looking for, I guess, right?
Exactly. Yeah. We're super data obsessed company. So our whole company is around data, right? Because we say data never lies, and we build our decisions around the data that we have. So if you, in any responses that you give, if you can at the end back it up with data. So say that you're talking about a project that you owned from the beginning to end. We want to hear the impact that it had. So if you can demonstrate that impact with numbers, that's probably the best thing that you can do in an interview with us, because we can see that, you understand numbers, you understand the data behind what you did. So I can only echo what Guglielmo said. If you can really demonstrate your answers with data, that's really good.
Yeah, you're going to have many interviewers, and most of them will come from business side. So be aware that these guys are challenged every day on numbers. So it's important that you guys are speaking their same language. So that's it. Data.
Definitely.
Okay.
Great point.
Let's move on to business teams, right, Moira?
Yeah.
Okay, so maybe I take a few of them and then we integrate together. So as you know, Amazon is really a wide company. We try and run many initiatives in different fields. Nonetheless, we have also, it all started with e-commerce, that today it's split up into retail, which is basically everything that is sold and shipped by Amazon, and the Amazon marketplace, where you have all the sellers that could basically ship and sell any product. But then, given the fact that we had such a big data infrastructure to handle, we built up the Amazon Web Services, AWS, which is one of the area that is growing the faster among our portfolio. Then we start having the need to have customers more integrated with the Amazon ecosystem, developing devices such as Alexa, Echo, and so on and so forth. And I touched 4 of them. Okay. Kindle. What about Kindle? Yeah, we all know that Amazon started from books. We thought that there could be another way to change the books market for good, and that's where Kindle comes from. So we have a whole team working on Kindle, a whole team working on Alexa, for instance, and then we have all the other operations that's supporting all the teams. Most likely the operations are supporting the e-commerce related side of the business, so retail and marketplace in terms of shaping the supply chain up. So all our Amazon FCs, you may have heard in Castel San Giovanni, for instance, there's the most famous one, and for sure our customer service, so the one you're gonna call when a package is not being delivered, for instance. So these are the main areas. I think I miss business development and e-commerce. So Moira, that's up for you.
Yeah. So we will come to that in just a minute. But basically, our opportunities that we have available for you are both in retail, e-commerce, and in the marketplace. So Guglielmo, who comes from the retail side, he will tell you a bit about what the opportunities we have there. But then we also have Amazon Marketplace, which is it covers all the third-party merchants activity related to selling on Amazon. So a lot of times, when you purchase on the Amazon platform, you will see sold and shipped by Amazon, and that would be from retail side where Guglielmo's from, or you will see sold by marketplace, and that's like the third party sellers, so I will come into that more later on, but basically just for you to understand the difference is that retail would they deal with like big well-established vendors already, and then the Amazon Marketplace, they get new sellers to sell on our Amazon platform, so they recruit new sellers to come join the Amazon platform. That's kind of the difference between the two businesses that we will now speak about in our opportunities that we have available.
Yeah, so these are the opportunities that we have for you.
Yeah. So coming to the graduate opportunities. So I will first speak about the graduate opportunities, and then later I'll speak about the internships that we have available. So we have the business development graduate program. So it's a bit different this year. So there's two roles that feed into this specific job posting that we have. So we have the and apologies for we were meant to remove the vendor manager on 3 points. Apologies, but it's a brand specialist and associate partner manager. So Guglielmo will speak later about the brand specialist role, but basically the associate partner manager role is part of the marketplace, so business development side of the business. So as a associate partner manager, you will be working to recruit new sellers to join Amazon. So it's a third-party sellers, and your title would be new accounts manager. And then we will go into specifics about the brand specialist as well. But basically, we are looking for start dates from January next year up until June. So applications are open now, so you will find this job posted right now on amazon.jobs. I also shared it with your careers advisors, so they probably will share it with you after the presentation as well, but please go and apply. We are looking for business or STEM backgrounds, either in your final bachelor degree or in your final master degree. So yeah, we are also recruiting for any start dates as of January up until June next year. So you can even apply now for delayed start dates. And the role is permanent, so it's permanent contract with us. So I will let Guglielmo go into the specifics about the brand specialist role.
Yeah, sure. Maybe I can also touch point the vendor managers to give you an overview of everything that we mentioned in the presentation. So basically, we have these two positions: the brand specialist that accounts for some key vendors on the retail side, and the 3P role, associate partner manager, that is managing sellers on the marketplace side. So as we said many times, I work in retail. I'm a brand specialist, which goes by AVS, so Amazon Vendor Service. which is a service that we provide to vendors. So vendors are paying a fee to have one of us managing their portfolio. And generally speaking, the ratio is for one brand specialist goes 3 to 5 vendors. And on Amazon, we try to automatize all the activities that are low value added. So you will end up focusing on activities that really brings a lot of value. You would think about the growth strategy of a vendor on Amazon. You will manage directly the portfolio, but we will touch point all the activities later on. So vendors have, as I said, have so many self-service tools available. So they have Vendor Central, which is the main portal they use, and they can do basically whatever they want from Vendor Central. So we're just trying to give them some strategic support on how to perform better. So if you look at the chart down there, you see at the center there's always the vendor, which it's ultimately our customer that we need to delight. For sure, we are not delighting only customers on the internal side. We're on the external, but also vendors are for us customers. So everything that goes together with strategy and key decisions, it's accounted to the brand specialist. So you are the main POC, the main point of contact for your vendor in Amazon. And this will lead to a lot of responsibility. You are the first accountable person for the vendor. So you'll be owning the reporting, so on and so forth. And this is really, really interesting from managing a business and a business that it's really growing fast. On the operational side, for sure, we have so many teams supporting the AVS position. As I said, Vendor Central is probably the most famous portal that vendors are using to reach out to some specialist team, helping the vendor to get the growth also on some more operational tasks. So now let's move to the next slide to answer the big question that you might be asking yourself about. So what are we actually doing? Again, we come back to the flywheel. So the Amazon flywheel goes with 2 loops, which are starting with our customers for sure. We want to have the widest selection of products available on Amazon possible. That would mean that our customer have a great experience. Having a great experience, they will have more traffic. So we have more buzz on the website and more people buying. Having more traffic, we're also gonna attract more sellers on the marketplace, as Amazon started with retail and now marketplace is growing exponentially. Also, by growing, we're going to have lower cost structures. So, you know, the economies of scale, for sure. I think you studied that in your classes. So by having a bigger size, we can lower the shipping costs, for instance, to mention one, and we can be the sharpest we can for a customer to grant they have a great customer experience once more. So this is the full explanation of the flywheel. Back to what the brand specialist does. So we manage the selection for the 3 to 5 vendors we have accounted. We try to focus on how to maximize the traffic in light of if something is not findable, we cannot sell it. We also work on all the operational side. So on the supply chain of the vendor, we need to get our products in stock, and we need to get them in stock timely and anticipating the demand. So I don't know if you guys know it, but in 1 week it's gonna be Prime Day. So for us, it was really crucial to have a rush of sourcing goods during the last couple of months, for instance, to prepare for this Q4, for Prime Day, and for all the peak activities. So once we have all the stock in our fulfillment centers, we need to make sure that we sell it. So conversion comes to all the deals. So back to Prime Day, we're going to have many more offers in order to delight you guys as customers. And we're negotiating these deals with vendors, and we are running so many other activities. For instance, the most famous one that I could easily mention here would be Subscribe and Save. I don't know if you guys noticed, but you can also get a discount by purchasing on a frequently basis. And lastly, the last bucket of activities, business advice. So how to deliver results, putting all this together, which areas to focus on. So basically trying to put all these things together that at the end of the day, they are a little bit all the scope of a vendor business on Amazon. So we aim to provide a customized support, and we're not pushing vendors. We're working together with vendors to unleash their full potential on Amazon to fully exploit the e-commerce opportunity. So I guess there's another slide helping me out with this explanation. Yeah, that's basically explaining most of the things I said. So business advice covers all the best practice that we experienced in the past from experience of success stories with our vendors. Then we got the selection that, as I said, it's really pivotal for Amazon to have the widest selection possible. So if we have some gaps in the selection of a specific vendor, for us, that would be really, really a great pain point. So all the things that you don't find on Amazon are something we are most likely working on. And then back to the conversion. So how can we get the best customer experience, availability, all the logistic optimization, which is a very important flow, especially during these days. We had such a rush during the pandemic. Because of course e-commerce was booming, so that was really a hype moment for us on the area of availability and operational efficiency, and also for sure on traffic side. Okay, so I think I have one more slide. Maybe let me quickly touch point on the vendor manager. So it would be also interesting for you guys to know which would be what would be the structure of a brand specialist team. I don't know, Moira, am I allowed to share this?
Yeah, no, definitely.
Okay.
I think you could also touch on like how the career path for a brand specialist is, like sort of into vendor manager.
Yeah, that's kind of close to the same. Okay, great. So you will ideally start in retail as a brand specialist. So back at it, you're gonna have, where's my slide I'm looking for? Okay, cool. You're gonna have these 3 to 5 vendors, and so basically the first year you're gonna ramp yourself up with all the Amazon names, glossary and stuff like that, metrics and so on and so forth. And you'll be organized in a team where you have a team leader position. So a guy it's more senior than you, that it's not directly managing any other vendor, but it's helping you to develop into your career. So giving you advices, assessing you against the leadership principle on a 3 months and 6 month basis, and giving you support together with all the teams. So basically the teams could range among 5 to 10 people, and you have a one team lead. Then on the specific vendor, another crucial stakeholder would be the vendor manager. So vendor manager are managing vendors on a category basis. So you will have to deal with another professional figure that it's there more on a business side. So the vendor manager are negotiating to make it sure that the long-term contract with vendors, and you're gonna breach from the short high value adding operation that you are performing together with these long strategic category level activities that the vendor manager is carrying out. So ideally, once you finish out your trip as a brand specialist that could last for 2, 3, 4 years, you might want to become a team lead if you like a lot the people management side, or you might want to stay on the business and become a vendor manager. So move more on a category level view of the business, and then you can basically move around in businesses and change positions, so on and so forth.
Yeah. And yeah, so the brand specialist is just a continuously growing community in the Milan office, as well as all our European offices in Madrid, Germany, in Munich, in Paris. We have a really huge growing community of brand specialists, and I think it's just an awesome first role to come into, as it just gives you a 360 view of retail world. You get to understand the basics of retail, which is super challenging and super fun from what I hear. And yeah, so thanks for that that detailed overview, Guillermo. That's really helpful. Cool. Okay, coming on to the internship opportunities. So just coming back, I mean, going back to the graduate position. So just for you to know that the graduate roles, like I said, you can apply now if you're in your final year of university, or if you're a recent graduate, right? So, but with recent, I mean 6 months, less than graduated 6 months at the time of your application. So less than 6 months ago. Okay. And then like I said, we also have our internship opportunities over here. They are a duration of 6 months. So we have them in Milan, but we also have them in Luxembourg, right? So I think we have so many opportunities around Europe. However, in all of our locations, the local language is required, right? However, in Luxembourg, English is sufficient, right? So I think, you know, you could consider both Milan and Luxembourg for our internship opportunities. Yeah, so as you can see from the list here, we have a whole range of different teams, and how the role would look varies from team to team. So, you know, you will be given a project specific to your team, but regardless of like working on a project, you know, you will be building your skills from marketing to analytical skills. So it really does, the detail does vary from internship to internship. Okay, so yeah, the business development is the same. So we'll have several roles within this job posting, and then we also have the business analyst and finance internship. Cool. So just an overview of our recruiting timeline. So as I mentioned before, both our internship and full-time opportunities are now posted. So feel free to apply. We are just going through the applications right now, and then we're going to start recruiting like around the end of October up until, for interns, up until April, and for our full-time up until June. And then for our start dates, we will have them throughout the year. So for interns from January up until August, and then for full-time from January up until September. Yeah, so just to give you an overview of that. And if you can move to the next slide, Guillermo, I will, yeah. So this is the slide that I want to focus a bit more on. So once you apply, you are going to do an online application as part of your, sorry, you're going to do an online assessment as part of your application. So, you know, we're going to be asking you basic information about your graduation year, your availability, and your role preference. And then as well there, you know, you'll do an online assessment created by Amazon. So it's very Amazon specific, it's analytical and prioritization testing, sorry, just to understand your logic methodology on problem solving. Okay. And then from there, successful candidates will then be invited to our virtual assessment interviews. And the assessment is a mix of exercises. So exercises and leadership principles. So it's the same assessment for both internships and for graduates. So it's identical. And for the 2 exercises that we'll be doing, we are going to send you preparation on material. If you make it to the assessment center, we will send you more material to really prepare for the interviews. And the 2 exercises, so one will be kind of a mock sales role play, so a bit of a a sales negotiation kind of play with the interviewer, and then the second one is going to be an analytical case study. Okay. And then ways on how to prepare for this. So one thing that you can already do is researching the different businesses with Amazon. So just have a good understanding for what the different areas are, as maybe one of the case studies could be based around that. We don't know. But for the analytical testing, it will be on Excel. So basic functions will definitely help you get through the case. Of course, we do not need you to be professionals at Excels. You know, where we know that this Excel is something that we can learn and teach you. But yeah, just knowing basic functions can really help you get through the exercise. And then, as we stressed on before, the competency-based questions, so the leadership principle questions, will really need you to prepare in advance, okay? So really think about the professional working experience you've had, or, I mean, again, you know, we know that you are students right now, and that you might not have any professional experience, but, you know, we do need to hear something from you. So even if it's, you know, projects that you worked on at university, or maybe, I don't know, like, you're highly active in a sports team, where you're maybe a team captain, or, you know, you're volunteering at I don't know, an organization, and, you know, just tell us a bit about, you know, what you're doing, because we really want to hear what your skills are, what you can bring to the table, you know, kind of try and sell yourself to us, why we should pick you. So don't feel bad to talk about yourself. Let us know what you've done, what you've contributed to. And as well, just for you to know as well, you know, we will be expecting you to also talk about failures. So don't feel bad to talk about, you know, something, you know, when you missed a deadline, or something didn't go according to plan, or, you know, anything that, yeah, that was maybe a failure in your view. Speak about it, right? I think, you know, everyone has failed before, and I think Amazon really has that culture that allows you to fail, right? If you have a new idea, you know, it's encouraged for you to bring that idea forward and work on it. Like, come up with a plan to make that idea work, and you will always be encouraged to go do that. And then if it fails, then it fails. But at least you've tried it, and then, you know, try and understand why it failed and what could you have done differently, or do in the future for it not to happen again. So be prepared to receive a question as well about, tell us about a time when you failed, and make sure that you come up with a specific example for that as well. We're not here to judge you. We just want to understand ways on what you've put in place for it not to happen again, or why, if you went down to the roots to understand why it failed. Okay. Yeah, awesome. Just one more thing I wanted to mention, but on the previous slide is, you know, we have switched to 100% virtual interviewing. I know that can be sort of, I know it's very different, and it may be an unpersonal experience, you know, because usually, you know, we're used to having someone in front of us. But I think this virtual concept will be around for a bit longer than we hope. But yeah, just, you know, be prepared for the interviews. You know, make sure that you're in a quiet place, you have strong internet connection, and just really be prepared, because, you know, it can be very nervous. You can be very nervous during them, but, you know, we're all in this together. So just make sure that you're very, very prepared for the interviews. Okay.
Next events. Yeah.
Next events, cool. So we've got many different events coming up. You can see several here listed. So you just have to go to this link over here. That will just give you a complete overview of the things that we have coming up. So just like tips and tricks on CV building, you know, life at Amazon, just for you to get to know our culture a bit better, monthly tech talks, sustainability, International Women's Day. And so we have all these things coming up. So make sure that you check them out and stay connected with us. And then if you go to the next slide, Guillermo, I think there's also, oh, sorry, Q&A. Yes.
That's your time, guys.
Yeah, we'll hand it over to you. I don't know if you would just want to unmute yourself, or write in the chat box, and we will try and answer them as best as we can. Okay, I mean, maybe one thing that I can just say is that we have the brand specialist and the new accounts manager role. So brand specialist in retail and the new accounts manager role in marketplace. We have them open. We have many of these roles open, right? So don't be like scared that you will lose your opportunity. We have them open on a rolling basis. So obviously the sooner the better if you can apply. But we have many of these positions available to you.
Mark, can you see the first
Yes.
questions coming? Okay, so many of them. Great. So maybe you can take the first one about the selection, the very first assessment to
for the
make
first
sure.
For the first assessment.
Is it still the phone call? Isn't it?
So no,
There's
there's no
another
more
one.
phone call. No, there's we removed the phone call. So basically it's the online assessment and the criteria for our roles, and based on that we will then invite you to an online assessment with us. So the assessment lasts a whole duration of 4 hours, so it's quite intense, right? So it's 4 hours back to back. So make sure that you have come with a lot of energy and very well prepared, because it's a very intense day. The selections have begun now. The positions have been posted in September, so we're going through them right now, and we will start recruiting at the end of this month.
As often as you want. Is there any waiting time after a loop?
It's a good question. So you can apply to as many positions as you want. However, I would just kind of encourage you to really apply to those roles that most appeal to you. Just don't go crazy applying to every single role that you see. Just really go down to what you think is of most interest to you, and then apply to those. But if you have been in process with us before, we just encourage you to wait, and the outcome was unfortunately negative. We just encourage you to wait 6 months just to build up on your skills a bit more, and then to reapply again. So we say 6 months.
About positions, locations, as Moira said on Amazon, IT.jobs you can find for Milan, but we also have from Madrid, but you need to speak Spanish on a working level, and Luxembourg would be working only with English.
Correct.
And the interviews are carried out in the local language, apart from online assessments. And what's the split now on the interview? 1:5 or 2:5?
So it depends, right? I think we have 4 interviewers, and I think half of them will be in the local language, and then the other half in English. So for all roles at Amazon, English has to be fluent, and then also fluency in the local language. So for Italy, we need fluency in both, and then for France, for example, we need fluency in French and in English. German, in Munich, it would be German and English. So it's Luxembourg and the UK is only 2 areas where English is sufficient. How important it is to have previous internship experience. So like we mentioned, we know that you're all students right now, and the internship experience is not that important to us. We are able, with our assessment that we have in place, we're really able to identify your potential. So there's a mix of leadership principles and business cases, where we're able to really understand your skills from there. So yes, if you have some internship or previous experience, great, but our main focus is on the assessment.
Let me take the Excel course. I don't think an Excel course is needed as it comes to the loop, so to the hiring process. Just for you guys to be comfortable on using the basics of Excel. So try to run some exercises on basics Excel before, in order not to have some moments of disbelief with Excel formula during the test. And about the smart working, we are currently fully smart working up to Jan. I don't know if they extended already, but we can decide to go to the office. We have limited spots there, but it's all smart working based.
Yeah, and also just to let you know that we have a solid onboarding in place. So if you would join us, and should the working from home guidelines be extended a few more months, we have a solid onboarding in place. We will make sure that you are ramped up from home. We will ship you the equipment, and then obviously, like, your team will fully support you in getting you up to speed to be successful in your role.
So we also have a bunch of different questions related to legal, I see, HR, and yeah, do we have any vacancy in legal and HR? Because we didn't present them directly here.
No, so yeah, so this is only around retail and marketplace. Our team does not support, like, we don't support HR or legal. If you are interested in those areas, I would just recommend you to go on Amazon.jobs and filter by these by your preference and location, and you will see all the different availabilities that are out there.
Yeah, according to the question related to the background, just try to check the requirements that goes with every position. And don't be scared. If you feel that you have studied something, but now you're more interested in something else, just give it a try, because you can get to the assessment and then you can prove how much you can be the fit for the role. So it's not like fixed. We have people coming from many backgrounds.
Correct. Yeah. I saw something about a motivational letter, so I can tell you now that's not needed. No need to write a motivation letter. Your CV is enough. Just make sure that with your CV, you do post it in English. Have it in English, and just have it very, very try and keep it to one page, and just keep like a good layout, so a structured layout, so that's easy to read. But save yourself some time, and there's no need for a motivational letter. Okay, there's so many questions. I'm not sure if I'm following all of them.
We're going to be losing some of them, so apologies in advance, but we're trying our best.
Yeah, I can see if you can do an internship aimed at a dissertation. So it's a good question, and unfortunately the answer is no. We cannot support dissertation writing at Amazon.
Okay, let me take the one about the recruitment experience. I mean, I took it 1.5 years ago, so right now I guess things have been changing a little bit, but it was really smooth. It went really quick, and then I mean, it was everything as expected. So please, guys, do some prep work before every session with the material we're going to send you. If you're not receiving the material, if you're not finding the material, feel free to ask and prepare yourself. That's really, really key.
Yeah.
About the CV building, we have a session coming, right? Yes, we do. So
yeah,
feel free to join.
Yeah. No, we have them reoccurring. I think there was one not so long ago, and I think if you go to this link, Amazon Student Events .splashthat.com, you can also see past presentations that we've had. So go ahead and check that out. It should be there. A recording should be still posted. So I saw a question about the position, the business development graduate position, and if you're able to choose what location you would be located in. So we have this posting on our platform for different locations. So if you want to apply to a specific location, just check for the country and then apply to that. But just like our team, my recruiting team manages all the same positions for the different locations. So just make sure that you specify, or you choose what location you want to go into, because the assessment process is the same for all the locations. So just make sure that you're specific about which location you apply to, because we don't necessarily want to bring you through 2 assessment centers for the same role in a different location.
Yeah, about other positions that are not really presented directly into these presentations, best approach would be to check on amazon.it.jobs. because things are moving fast. So we could give you an answer that it's just temporary. So also best for you guys.
Yes, sure. You can add us on LinkedIn. That's fine. Okay, I don't know if we can go through all of them.
We're doing a good job. I think we're, yeah, like apply directly to the Amazon jobs. I think that the link we have on the career portal redirects you guys to our website, isn't it, Moira?
Yeah, correct.
But eventually you're gonna applying from that spot. So.
I see a lot of questions about like different job opportunities in different fields. So let me just say again, we are specifically talking about graduate and internship positions for retail and marketplace. It's just part of the program that we have running. If you are interested in any other field, please just go directly to the Amazon.jobs portal. As you know, Amazon is a very, very big company. There's so many different recruiters that are responsible for different teams, different jobs. So we don't know all the jobs that are currently posted out there. So if there's a specific field that you're interested in, please just go to the platform and filter by your preference.
About the possibility to cooperate with other states. So as it comes to retail and marketplace, we are structured in a EU5 fashion. So as I said before, Italy and Spain go together for retail, and then we have 3 other main marketplaces in Europe, but you will be spending most of your time on Italy and Spain if you apply for the position retail and 3P that we're presenting. Okay. English we answered.
Yeah.
About the London permission, we skipped the London part. How does it work?
What's the question? Right. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of a topic that no one really understands or knows what's going to happen there. Unfortunately, I'm not able to speak about that. We do have the position posted at the moment. However, I don't know how that's going to roll out in terms of Brexit. But if you are very interested in the Amazon London office, there's the same exact role that we're presenting right now over there as well. So feel free to apply and give it a try. Okay, I'm just like going over the questions again, and I think
yeah, we cover most of the areas.
Cover most of the areas, yeah. I mean, if there's any other questions that you would like to ask us, like I said, feel free to add us on LinkedIn. We're there, or let your career advisors know, and then they can maybe forward the questions on to us, and then we can get back to them as well. Yeah. Okay. If you head to the next slides, I think there's also another slide on ways to stay connected. Yeah, so you will find us on all these different platforms, and feel free to check them out. Some interesting stuff on there, what we're planning on doing as well. So just ways to stay connected. And yeah, I think that concludes our presentation. Thank you all so much for listening. I really appreciate your time and for letting us, for me and Guglielmo, to speak to you. Like I said, the positions are posted right now. Go ahead and apply, and hopefully we'll get to meet you in person at one point.
Yeah, thanks a lot, guys, for your attention and your questions.
Yes, thank you so much.
Have a nice day.